I am going to do a PICC line removal. And first, of course, I have already washed my hands. And then I usually prepared a dressing kit and also a drape like this, if in case there is a problem with the PICC, then I could put in here and it's sterile. As well as I put a drape at the bottom of the patient's arm. And usually I clean the site first just to make sure. Okay, and I will start removing it from the top. Because you know it's difficult if it's not that wet. So there you go. I have it removed here. All right, so that's one. And as you can see, this is the insertion site, okay? So in order not to pull it, it should be going upward like this when you remove the dressing. Okay, now we're okay to remove it. Sometimes it's kind of sticky, so you need an alcohol swab for that. Okay, so I'm almost done here. Okay, so I had already removed the dressing. The moment I removed it, I have to check whether there are skin breakdown, rashes, or any signs of infection like inflammation, redness, and so far there has been none. Okay, now what I'm going to do is do another disinfecting of that area. Okay, now I can use the other one, the other side. All right, so now that I'm sure that the skin is intact, I am going to prepare my sterile gauze. Okay, I am usually folding it into 4, or you could fold it into 2 only. Then cover this, the insertion area site, okay? And then gentle and slowly pull the PICC line catheter. And you have to remember that at the end part of the catheter, you have to ask the patient to inhale deeply, then hold while I'm going to remove the last or the end part of the PICC line. Okay, now ready? Gentle pulling, and remember that if there is a resistance, you don't have to force and do not pull the PICC line, but call the doctor that there is a resistance. Okay, now kneel. I'm going to pull the last part, so inhale deeply, kneel, and hold it. Okay, no, not yet. Okay, ready? 1, 2, inhale deeply. Very good. And then that's it, Neil. Okay, now with the tip of the catheter, make sure that you got the end part of that one and there's no fracture and there's no missing part. Okay, if it does happen that there is a missing part, then you have to notify the doctor, and probably they will ask for this to be cultured. All right, next thing is you always have to measure the whole PICC line, and it's always written on the care plan. Okay, now going back to the site, once I've seen that there's no longer bleeding, okay, like this one, I'm ready now to apply the sterile gauze together with the petroleum or petrolatum gauze. Okay, now it's like this. You remember the adaptic, or you know the adaptic, that's what you are going to use. Then cover it, okay, after that pressure dressing that I made earlier. And then of course you will have to secure that dressing with a transparent dressing. Okay, reason why is for you to be able to find out if it's bleeding or not. Okay, as easy as that. And that's the PICC line removal. So this is the PICC line and the catheter for the PICC, and as you can see, this is the length of that one. And in the care plan, you can find out the length of that PICC line catheter that they used. That is why it is very important to find out if there are cracks or fracture, because that means that you have not removed the whole catheter. So now if that happens, then you always have to notify the doctor, and they will do an x-ray for that. So it's always important to measure the catheter after removal, and at the same time examining if it's not removed or there is a fracture or breakage of that catheter. Okay, all right, so this is the catheter for the PICC line.